Right, AP World students, you want to know which prep book you should get. So I got them all for you and went through them and reviewed them so that I can tell you which one is the absolute best and which ones that you should skip. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you. Let's get our review on. Hey, if we're just meeting, this is High Level History. I'm Amanda, and I'm helping you earn college credit for AP World History. So hit the subscribe button to be notified for when I post new videos, and hit the like button if you appreciate this content. You want more things like this. All the links for all these books that I'm going to go over is in the description, so at any point, head over the description so you can get on Amazon and get your review going. So let's jump in. How did I do this? How did I determine which one was the best? I used 3 different criteria. So I kind of created this rubric and I looked at readability, whether or not it's actually an easy book to read. I looked at usefulness. Is it actually going to help you? Does it supplement what you already have? Right? You already have a textbook. Is it just like another textbook, or is it actually going to help you review? And then third, I looked at visual appealing. I know that students and lots of people just like I prefer looking at a book that doesn't have too much text, that has charts and graphs and images, right? So I kind of looked at that and considered that factor when looking at which one was the best. So with that said, quick caveat, you know yourself the best, you know how you learn. So I'm going to tell you which one I think is the best, but ultimately you've got to make that decision for yourself. Either way, it's really important that you get yourself a prep book and get reviewing. Make a schedule, get going, read the book before the test. So let's start with these 2 little guys. These ones were like the cheap ones. They're much smaller than the other ones. Crash Course AP World History Crash Course. This one is meh. I don't know. This one's kind of like a Cliff Notes of AP World. Everything in it, so in terms of readability, super easy to read. It's all just bullet points. It's got no images. It's got, maybe like a few maps, and actually it does have some cool like comparison charts at the end. But for the most part, this one doesn't bring much value to your review because it doesn't actually give you much information about anything. It just sort of says like this thing happened and kind of calls your attention to it. So if you have a good textbook and you don't mind going back and forth between the 2, then great. If not, skip it. There's also no practice questions in here, so worth knowing. This is kind of a cool find. I had never heard of this before. It's called ASAP World History, and it is from Princeton. This one is, the readability of this was awesome because it is all visual. The entire thing, it's just like all kinds of different like graphic organizers. You've got the like flow charts like this. I'm trying to get the right lighting. All right, whatever. You've got flow charts, you've got maps, you've got images, you've got all kinds of cool stuff that is just not in these other books. All the other textbooks or prep books are all text heavy. There's just a lot of text, and this one is just really focused on like, look at that nice little chart right there. Or this page, this is an awesome page, right? So you can see timeline and then like a pyramid chart. One suggestion for this book is to use the graphic organizers to kind of reverse engineer a practice prompt. So, you can get yourself a huge list of practice prompts and answer them. That's one way to study. Another way is you could actually look at the answers and write the prompts yourself and then write a paragraph using that. This is a really cool book to do that. So, I don't know. This one doesn't have any practice exams, no questions, and doesn't talk about the actual test, but to be honest, I think those 2 things is what makes some of these other ones the weakest. So forget it. Get this one. It's like $8 or $9. It's pretty cheap. So, all right, going into some of these bigger brand books, let's start with 5 Steps to a 5. This one, out of all of these that I looked at, is honestly my least favorite, and here's why. Readability, pretty easy to read. I mean, it is still really like summarized. But the problem with this book is it has 4 practice exams, and that is the most out of any of these books, except that the quality of the questions is the lowest out of any of these books. So, for example, in the practice DBQ in here, they literally use a document from like on this day in history, history.com. Like, that's nothing like what you're going to see on College Board. So writing a whole practice DBQ with documents that are like pretty, thrown together is not really going to help you. If you're just looking for a lot of practice questions, like I wouldn't spend $18 on this book or whatever it is on Amazon. I would get like the practice app like Romulus or something and just practice like that. Don't get a book like this. So 5 Steps to a 5, skip it. Okay, Kaplan. This one was like a surprise. I have never used Kaplan before, and so I wasn't sure what to expect, but I was pleasantly surprised with this book, and I would say this one was my favorite out of all of them. In terms of readability, it was really easy to read. The sentence structure is nice and short sentences. The vocab is nice and easy to understand. So, you can take complicated history and understand it easier by reading this. The best part about this book is this beginning part that they have is called like targeted review and practice. And so they know that you have a textbook. They know that you've been studying this material and that this isn't the first time that you're reading about, the Mongols. Like, you probably know some things about them already. So what they're going to do is help you figure out what parts about that you don't know and like what do you actually need to read about, So if you take like period 3, for example, there's going to be some topics that you know better than others. And this beginning piece lets you kind of figure out which parts of the exam you are already kind of good at so that you can really focus on the content that you're struggling with. So that's huge. None of these other books do anything like that. Also, all of these books say 2018 on them, but this is the only one that's actually updated for the exam. The exam itself changed in 2016 and the summer of 2016 and the summer of 2017. And so the rubrics are a little bit different. And in this book, the rubrics are correct. So shout out to Kaplan for keeping up with the changes. Oh, by the way, this one is free on Amazon right now. So at the time that I made this video, I don't know, they're having some crazy deal. It's literally free. So my suggestion, get yourself Kaplan for free. Get yourself this one. This is like the power couple of AP World prep books. Like with those two, solid. All right. Barron's, Princeton. These are the ones that people ask about all the time. So Barron's readability was the worst out of all of these. This is a hard read. Like this is a kind of a no joke prep book. Their sentences kind of run on. The vocab choice that they use is kind of ridiculous. It's just like you're already trying to understand complicated, history. You're already reading a textbook. Do you want to spend time trying to figure out what this one's talking about too? Or do you want something that's just going to be a little bit more concise? So in this one, I mean, if you're looking for like an alternate textbook, then this is a good choice. But if you're just looking to prepare for the exam and a supplement, then like, I think this one's kind of doing the most. The practice exams in this, there are 3. They're pretty good. The questions, I felt like the practice tests at the end of this book are the most similar to what you'll actually see on College Board from any of these, but they're still not perfect. There's still issues within them, and the book itself is not updated. It's incorrect. What it tells you to do for the DBQ, for the LEQ, like those rubrics are wrong. So really keep that in mind when looking at Barron's. Princeton. So Princeton is way easier to read. This one was pretty easy, short sentences, easy vocab. And then, the problem is though, they're not updated either. So, and they spend like half the book telling you how to they call it crack the AP World exam. But they're not using updated materials. So half this book is useless. Not to mention some of the ways that they actually tell you to write the DBQ or how to write the short answer questions are kind of weird and a little bit confusing. Especially like you're already learning one way from your teacher, and to read this book is going to confuse you even more. So I don't know. If you're going to choose between Barron's and Princeton, I would choose Princeton. But if you're going to have your pick of all of them, I'd go with Kaplan. That one seems to be the most correct out of all of them. It's also free right now, so there's that. If you're trying to just like practice a lot of questions, I would say then maybe Barron's, because that has 3 tests, and they're pretty good. But kind of up to you. So the last one that I want to talk to you about too is Amschoo. I don't have the hard copy to show you, otherwise I'd be like, hey, Amschoo. But Amschoo is a really good alternative textbook. When I looked at the Mongol chapter in all of these books, Amschoo is 9 pages while the rest of them are 2 pages. But your textbook like Strayer, Bentley, or Stearns, those are all 30 pages. So Amschoo is an awesome option to read kind of as a replacement textbook. I know a lot of teachers are kind of switching over to Amschoo because it does a really good job of being concise, being clear, it's correct. I'm pretty sure that it's updated for this year. I don't have the current version, but they updated the right one last time. So Amschoo is an awesome option, and if you're studying on your own, I would say go with Amschoo, and that should be your textbook. You don't need to spend $100 on Amazon to get a textbook. Just get that one. So, but in terms of prep book, like I said, you want something that's going to supplement what you already have, that isn't going to be an additional amount of work. So I really love Amschoo, close to my heart, but I'd go with the Free Kaplan, and then I'd also go with the ASAP World History. This book is just awesome. I'm just really excited to actually read this. So lastly, just so that you also know, I'm not affiliated with any of these giant test prep companies. I'm just a teacher, and I want you to pass this exam and do your best. So, I know a lot of questions out there about which prep book's the best, so that's why I put this video together. I would love to hear from you about which prep book you are actually going to get. So drop them in the comments below. Maybe you already have one. Maybe you are loyal to one of them. Maybe you have experiences with one. I'd love to know which one you choose. Put it in the comments. Put any questions you have. If I missed any, of other books or prep materials, you can drop those as well, and I'll update the description to include any other ones that are suggested. So pick one. No matter which one you choose, pick one. Order it soon. Get going. Make yourself a schedule. Read the book. Practice as much as you can. That's what's going to help you pass the exam. So good luck. Let me know if I can help you, and check out the key concept review videos to help you study as well. So that's kind of a visual prep book. So enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. Hey, this is High Level History, and I'm Amanda Doemerall. If you're an AP World student, tell me how it's going in the comments below. And for more AP World content and review, be sure to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at High Lev History.